first part.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we'll begin with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we welcome everybody to the September 25th Marion County Commission meeting. We begin with public forum and public comments. There's no one in the room.
No, none online.
And none online. So we'll move into agenda approval. Tina had asked for an additional personnel performance executive session. Steve Hudson had asked to come in at 2 o'clock for road and bridge discussion. Any other additions to the agenda? All right, if not, we will move into administrative business.
Okay. I do not have the minutes proofed from the last meeting, so those are not here for you today.
Okay.
I just want to follow up. Last week I put a United Way survey on the table by everyone. I have a couple of those back. Did anybody else?
I haven't even looked at it since then.
Okay. Do you think you still have it?
I don't know.
Okay. And same with you, Randy. There, last week I put a United Way survey on the table.
Oh, I didn't answer.
You got it? Very good.
I've got it probably, but
I jammed it in with the rest of the papers that Sharon gave
Did
us.
you-
She wants it back.
Okay, so if you maybe could just, it's not very long, so if you could maybe answer it and get it back, that'd be great. That,
60
I need to
seconds.
look at.
Okay.
Okay, so we received an invoice for the garage doors for the road and bridge department, and it exceeds the amount that was approved. So the approval for the 3 locations way back in March was $12,850. And we just got the invoice and it is $14,145. So before we pay that, I would like approval of the, I just wanted to see what all you want to do. The minutes are attached to that where it was approved.
Except just remodeling, huh?
Oh, plus that was in March and
Right.
now it's later, you know.
6 months.
I don't know what the deal was with it, but
Those are not a.
Did everyone get my text? Except you. I didn't send it to you.
Thank you. $1,400. $1,400 extra.
is that a Peabody?
it's 3 locations.
Oh.
Peabody, they're listed on the minutes back there on the second page of that.
Because I happened to see the one, the door down there they installed, and there wasn't no electricity there.
Not one that's gone away. My daughter talks
That's
about
what was
it.
going on there.
At the time that they quoted it, was there a 30-day, or bids good for 30 days, 60 days, anything like that? Because normally when somebody sends you a bid, they say quote's good for 30 days, 60 days, whatever.
Yeah, usually net 30 the way stuff's going right now, climbing and going up.
Well, I know that, but that's their bid.
Was it a bid? Or was it just a not to exceed?
I can have Ashley call them and just say, and ask why it was more than the quote.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to know.
Okay,
Well, I know everything's going up, but still, they quoted it, they bid it, we didn't.
It was 3 separate estimates, right?
They're gonna place a wood frame on one of them. John, that was in the first original.
yeah,
I
that may
mean,
not have been.
If that's the case, the kind of bids we're gonna get, and it's, bids good for 30 days, nobody's gonna do anything for 30 days. You're gonna wait till that's over and then charge us more.
I just wonder if something happened in the interim while we didn't have, you know, the county engineer there and some, you know, maybe something might have got lost in that translation, so.
It's possible.
It won't hurt to
We can find
get a
out.
call and get an answer, and
Mhm.
hopefully have an answer for Friday payday.
Okay, well, it'd be great to have one, maybe she can get it before you're done today, because
Oh, okay.
then we can get
Yes,
it entered
then you
if
get
it's
it entered, yes.
approved.
Yes, if she could call and get an answer yet today, that'd be awesome.
Okay,
I think Kim's exactly right. Be good to have a little more information.
okay, let me get this out real quick.
What do you get where out the county Spanish?
It might be a simple answer, it might not. Find out.
Still two more before.
That's their problem, not ours.
How are you doing today? Good. Uh-oh, that's not very enthusiastic.
And just say we're trying to get approval.
Oh, something new?
Okay.
It's
Thank
official.
you.
Official.
Okay,
That's
thanks for,
the point.
thank you. All right. I have, some salary sheets.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, in the county clerk office, new administrative specialist 2, Jennifer Hess, $2,773 per month, effective September 25th, 2023. In the ambulance department, change from volunteer EMT to part-time EMTB, $14.23 an hour, effective October 1st.
Did you say the name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brandy Hanson, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
In the ambulance department, interim pay as EMS director until position is filled. This is for Charles Kenny, from $19.86 an hour to $21.85 an hour, effective 9/21. And in the ambulance department, interim pay for additional duties until EMS director position is filled. Interim pay includes comp time earned to be paid out for Jamie Shirley from $3,838 per month to $4,222, effective 9/21.
What does that say, until filled or for 3 months?
It
It's
says
supposed to-
until filled,
Let's write on there, because you said,
/3 months, whichever's first.
right. So that's the same thing we did before, was the paid overtime instead of comp time, and then the 10%. But you all said that for 3 months.
Makes it sound like it's paying out accrued comp time up to this point.
We can change the wording of it.
Oh.
That's not what it is, it's
Okay.
just to pay.
Okay.
I really messed up your sheets.
That's fine.
Struggling to pay whichever.
I was asked to provide a reminder that there is a dedication for the Sunflower Wind Project this coming Thursday at 11:30.
I'm not gonna make it.
Okay. Is anybody planning to go? Okay, and then they wanted to know if anybody wanted to give any remarks at the event.
Even though I won't be there, I would pass that buck to him.
Randy should be, it's his district.
Well, they also wanted to send something out with a statement from Randy on the press release, so I don't know if that's something you wanna do or not.
Make a statement?
Have it yet.
Oh, okay.
So, but, they did ask me to see if anybody,
Would you like to, or would you like, what's your other idea? It's up to you.
to give remarks at the event.
At the event? Go ahead, Dave, that's fine.
Okay.
You can give me any suggestions.
Okay.
You let them know that I'm just busy. Nothing, not against anything, just.
Okay.
And then that other thing you can do later.
Time
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Work conflict.
I'll be back for paid.
Okay.
Okay.
You move the flag.
Just want to give you an update from John Deerdoff, and he said that the positions have been posted. We haven't posted it on our website yet, but it's been posted in the other locations, and so far there are 2 applications as of this morning, so.
Oh,
That's good.
But he hadn't weed through it.
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
He hadn't done the initial interviews.
No, and he won't do that until we
We
get
get closer.
a group. Yeah, but just letting you know, there has been some.
there is some interest.
And we did receive our reimbursement for our revenue neutral notices, and the amount was $9,672.39 from the state that I just submitted for reimbursement, so we've got it.
So that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I got
For
it.
us.
Yes, yeah, it was decent. So, I wanted to check with you about KAC. It is actually in December this year, December 5th through the 7th in Wichita. The conference hotel is a Hyatt, but it's booked. I mean, it's been booked for a while, so, and I didn't know how many of you are interested in us registering you, and then whether you wanna stay in Wichita or drive, or, you know.
Are you, Randy, you're interested in going?
Yeah, I'm going this year.
Okay, good.
Okay,
For
do you
Randy,
want a
then.
full conference?
Yeah, I'm not, no motels. I'll drive home.
Okay, but you want the full thing
Yeah.
for all the
Yeah.
days, okay.
Okay.
Same.
Commissioner Crowfoot.
Are you gonna drive back and forth, or do you need to stay?
I need to stay, but I'll probably drive back and forth. No, I'll be good and come home.
Okay,
Commissioner Becker, or you plan to go?
Put me down, I'll drive back and forth.
okay,
Commissioner Becker?
I'll go, but I'll stay. I just need to network with some other counties, and we can usually do that after.
okay.
Is that 6th is,
It's December 5, 6, and 7, so that would be,
It's
it's
a-
usually a Tuesday, yeah, it's a
Tuesday through
Tuesday
Thursday.
through Thursday, and the Thursday's a half day.
and Wednesday night is the social.
I don't have the agenda and everything, but probably, they usually have some, like the annual meetings for like K-Camp and K-Work and some of those things are
Yeah.
the night before, and they have some early education things too. So I'll find out more. I looked for an agenda, but there is not even a tentative one up there, so.
And after it all is over, and then
What's that?
everybody's freed up,
Just one
you're
guy?
allowed to, the reason why I choose to stay is because and it's easy enough to drive home, but you can network with the other people.
Yeah.
And the other parts of the time, you're giving all your attention to the classes and things that are
Right.
going on. After work, you can actually network with other people, figure out what
And
other counties are
So
doing.
right now, there are still rooms at the Hotel Broadview, which is right down there,
Across
right
the
down by
street.
Century 2, just across the street, so
Where's it
I'll,
at, Sheridan?
no, it's at the Hyatt with that big one on the river.
Okay, so it's blocked north.
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
Other side of Century too.
Yeah, you gotta walk a block north.
right, right. So,
It's a city.
let me
block.
know though, if anybody else wants me to get rooms, I can do it, and then we can cancel them if you know.
Probably do Wednesday night, I mean, it's the 6th.
Okay,
That's the night to stay open.
yeah, okay. They probably have, yep. Okay, okay.
And get 2 beds, you can say no.
And do you want us to stay Wednesday, or do you want Tuesday and Wednesday?
It's 2 nights, right?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
So both nights?
Yep.
Okay.
Keeps me from being back in town and getting drugged to the side to go do something else.
They'd take you captive and.
No, that always happens. When I make it back to the shop, I get diverted in 20 directions.
Okay, thank you for
Don't wanna make
letting me
that
know
breakfast
your
in Thursday
intentions on
morning.
that.
Yeah, they gotta reach me by phone, they kinda leave me alone.
Let's see. The job descriptions, proposed job descriptions and a pay scale for the road and bridge, I assume that you'll just wait and do that during the road and bridge time at 2 o'clock, that was added to the agenda.
Correct.
And, let's see, I feel like I had something else. Let me just double check. Oh, update on the 1220 East Main. I have spoken with the tenant in there and they have said they will be out by the end of the month.
Okay,
So,
very good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
End of October,
what,
Into the month.
in September or October,
end of September.
okay.
So,
Next week,
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yep.
yes. Then the other thing is the senior citizens meeting, October 19th. Just want to put that out there again. Randy's signed up and I've got his money for his lunch. October 19th
Where's it at
is,
this year?
it's in Marion, it's a Thursday at 11, well, registration's 11:30, the meal's at 12.
Pass through.
Okay.
$7?
Yes. Does anybody not planning to, or think they're gonna be able to make it?
I will be there.
Okay,
Okay.
Randy will be there.
I'll plan on
okay.
Do you want to
Do you think
email
you're gonna make
What
it?
day is it?
October 19th, Thursday, right here in Marion at the senior center.
11:30.
19th Thursday.
You can let Tina know.
Yeah, just let me know, I'll keep asking.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think, yeah, that puts me a week away from the other thing I was thinking, so I should be able to.
Okay, you can let me know for sure.
Okay.
I'll get you some money back here
So I'll just
shortly.
put it into my lunch account.
Gotcha, okay, I'll do that.
Is that there? Who's this one from? It's from Dave Crofton.
Okay, thank you.
Paper clipped it for you.
That's
So,
good.
Call it a small bills.
Well, I
Is this
didn't wanna make it
appropriate
rain.
passing
I
cash?
think it's okay, as long as nobody understands what
We can take $1 out as we pass.
You're not allowed to pass a hat in there. You gotta, Tina will write you up
Okay.
because you,
All the funds go directly.
because
to
you, that's campaign contributions or something over $10.
I wasn't part of this organization, because I was passed on this side, you guys went on that side.
By the time Randy's finished, there is nothing left.
So these minutes were were
Yes.
approved last time, I just needed to reprint the signature, so I'll just have you sign this if you, no changes or anything.
There we go.
Oh, that was not a very big packet, was it? Sorry about that. Okay. Hope you didn't spend all weekend reading your packets.
Sunday, all day.
All right, I think that is all I have on administrative.
Okay, and if we get a response about the garage doors, we'll bring it up later.
Sounds
Into the
good.
meeting.
Ashley's at lunch, so.
Okay,
we'll-
that'll work out just fine. Okay, let's move into election security.
Oh,
You had, is that right?
yes,
Okay, you had 3 executive sessions.
well,
One
we
county
can, we
security.
think we can do it as one if one of them is particularly related to elections, one is physical security and one is cybersecurity, but they're all matters of security, so if we go in for matters of security, we can discuss
All 3.
all 3 of those.
Okay, and how long would you?
Right, Mr. Attorney?
Mhm.
Probably 15 minutes.
Okay. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss election security, matters of security pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. And it is number, number 13, matters related to security measures with the commission, Brad, Tina, for 15 minutes. That'd be from 12:50 to 1:05.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 5-0. We will be back at 1:05.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we are out of executive session. No decisions made. I would like to propose a motion That would be to allow staff to pursue cybersecurity agreement not to exceed $6,000.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gearing. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. All right. Chuck, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Passing around the contract that we have with St. Luke, I believe this is an executive session matter.
Okay.
It shouldn't take but no more than 10 minutes.
Okay. Would you like Alex?
Alex.
To stay? Okay, very good. You said 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Thank you.
I object.
Contract negotiation?
It's contract between two publicly funded entities.
Counselor?
Are we just taking up the last element?
On your page on 3.2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can do that, I know.
Okay. Okay. I spoke with Alex here, and we came to agreement, and Mark Rooker with HCH is also on board with these terms. From my understanding, this contract, there you go. From my understanding, this contract has been presented to you guys, the board, in the past, and everything was in agreement except the fee. We've changed the fee, we did some working around. We agreed to $250 per occurrence. So anytime St. Luke or HCH, with this contract, this just spells out St. Luke, and then we'll revise it and make one for HCH in the future. But on section 3.2 is where the only change is from the previous contracts. Is $250 per occurrence, and then $250 per additional hour. And then any medications and supplies used that were provided by Marion County EMS will be reimbursed physically or monetarily at cost, at our cost. I feel like this is a fair number, adding the hourly in, because I don't believe the hourly was in prior contracts. I believe this is a fair number. So we're just looking for the board's approval to move forward and get this settled.
Chuck, and you guys discussed on the reimbursement, I don't want to make this any more complex than it needs to be, but how the protocol for that will be. Is that immediately after service or within 30 days? Something so we put it in there so everyone can count on who's getting what, when, and how.
We can probably do a
Itemization.
30-day,
Okay.
and we'll get them an invoice copy with, if that's something that you agree with, Alex?
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay.
It does say St. Luke will pay undisputed portion of the invoice amount, services 30 days following receipt.
Yeah, and I just wanted to be sure in terms of receipt.
Oh, getting the
That's
receipt.
what was happening, so.
Yes, sir.
We can make that minor change, that should take care of it.
So, 3-1, transportation service fee.
That is for instance where they have machinery down at St. Luke, and then you'd be directly transferred over to HCH for service, and then transferred directly back, because that patient will fall under Medicare
So
Part
that's
A.
inter county.
Yes.
Okay. What about the distances exceeding outside the county?
From what I've been told by my predecessors, that has been negated.
Yeah, well, the only thing on the table was intercounty, inside the county.
What about, so there's no agreement on going outside the county?
That was a separate agreement, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, that was resolved earlier.
Okay.
Any other comments, Counselor?
I don't think of anything right now, I hope I'm not missing anything else, but that was what we were down to. And I was gonna report on that today again as well, but I'm glad you guys took care of that. But I talked with Alex at one point very briefly, and
So what?
that was the only remaining issue.
Why do we have 2 separate agreements?
Well, at the point where that other one was done, that was all agreed upon, and we had a different frequency of use, as I recall. I mean, it happened more frequently, we had more of that, and it was negotiated separately. Then this was just these limited types of in-county transfers.
So shouldn't it all be inclusive?
We can.
Because they're required. to have an agreement
Yes.
with a service provider.
Yes.
So it needs to be an agreement, right?
Are you're referring to out-of-county transfers?
All of it needs to be an agreement.
I was informed by my predecessor that that portion had been resolved.
Right.
And-
But it needs to be included in this agreement.
So you wanna negate the other agreement?
I just-
Combine them.
So we should combine.
Wouldn't change the substance, I suppose we can do.
Because all that they're required to have is an agreement. So
Okay.
if you've got two, you can pick, not saying they would, I'm just saying somebody pick and choose what agreement we're going with today.
Okay, so you, and from my understanding, that previous agreement was going to be, there was going to be no billing involved in out-of-county?
Not-
Or is that still up for discussion?
That was resolved.
I'm sorry, I was not
Right,
filled
right,
in by my
right. So-
predecessor
I've
on.
read
well-
that on Brad too.
Yeah, I'm just doing it from memory today, to read it all file.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
But yeah, we did, that part, that was long ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think we just need to review it before.
Yeah.
Maybe it's nothing, I just, before I
You
sign
want to just
something,
consolidate
wanna
it
make sure we
into-
got all the information in front of us.
We can double check that just for everyone's comfort, make sure you and I talk.
Yes.
Make sure everybody else has seen it as well.
Okay.
Combine them, that's fine, I have no problem with that, I just want to get it to one agreement.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to remember, I know there was some stuff that was negated and it was wrong way of thinking, so. I'm not- And if it doesn't need to be part of this agreement, then that's fine.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page when we approve something.
Guess we'll wait another week.
Or Friday. You okay
Can't
with
let
that?
that be
Ken?
all right.
This one's drug on long enough,
Well,
I'd
let's
go
just-
ahead and say.
Let's finalize this and move on,
I agree.
you know? I think everybody's done with it. I mean, if you get two people on the same page, be done with it.
So all transports outside of county. There is no,
It's a separate agreement.
we're okay having two agreements.
That's the way I understood it all along, it's gonna be separate agreements.
Why don't you, is it okay to put it on Fridays?
Okay. We'll table it till Friday.
Let's double check.
Okay.
I don't want to have another problem there, so.
Okay. That's all I have.
Well, thank you for bringing this portion to conclusion. And Alex, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you for working with Chuck. And
Yep.
we, look forward to working together.
Yeah, same with us. We view EMS as a partner for the county, so.
Yes.
That's the way that we'll approach it going
Mhm.
forward, and looking forward to working with them. We're gonna have them out to some of our all staff, or not all staff, but our medical staff meetings,
Mhm.
so we can review specific ER cases and transfer, situations. Have good communication
I
there.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you for showing up, and we feel the same about the hospital too.
Good.
It's good within the county and both hospitals we have here, so glad to have you aboard.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Chuck. All right, bid opening on 1240 commercial building remodel.
So, I'll get them to come in.
Okay.
But I think before you talk about the specific bid,
Mhm.
you should decide if you want to, if you want to try to extend it or anything else. If you're wanting to try to get additional bids, because we only have one. So if you are gonna take that kind of an action, make sure that you do not disclose the bid
Okay.
before you decide that, so. I just wanted to mention that.
You guys hear that?
No,
Don't
sorry.
disclose the bid
Okay,
number.
until the commissioners talk about whether they want.
Okay, so I guess the first step would be, we do have one bid, and is there a desire to extend the bid time, or are you ready to accept the bid and move forward?
We've got nothing to compare it to.
Does anybody else have any contractor that might bid?
Kicked some their way, but
We contacted 8 or 9 individual contractors.
Okay.
2 of them showed interest and 1 provided a bid.
And this has been
You
out.
think we could go back to them and say we'd like for you to bid, if all possible?
Well, there's one out there that if it was not right now, that would, but that's probably the case for the 8 others too. If it wasn't right now, they're all busy.
And this has been advertised how long? 2 months? 2 months, 60 days?
For a while. I don't know that it's been advertised that long. 3 or 4 weeks.
I don't know.
So the ones that did contact me and tell me that they're not interested did say that they either don't have the staff right now or they're just booked.
Yeah, because it
There
went out
was-
August 31st.
Or these just in county?
I mean, most of them were in county, which we were trying to stay with
Open up to
county.
contiguous counties?
I have a hard time spending money.
And you had.
And
have
then
to
you
pay
stimulate the economy
transportation,
by not handing out a check, you hand out for services.
What's gonna cost more.
Yeah, but we don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Well, you
if-
did set a budget.
If this is competitive bid.
We set a budget.
What was our budget set? Number,
Was it 300,000? You set that as a budget quite a while back, before they even started the process of the RFP, or at the very beginning when Frank and Bryce was working on it.
I don't know, I noticed glancing that I asked for all the subs to be listed and suppliers, and nothing is listed on this one.
I think that you can ask, you can request. I can get the actual RFP language.
Yeah.
Just depending on how long you're gonna drag it out before they get started.
A long time.
They're not gonna get started before winter anyway.
Yeah, then it'll be a good winter project, because it's already got a shell around it. Kick the heater on.
Well, that's what I mean. Probably when they will start, because they can do so much in the end of it.
Yeah.
And it'll take 90 days before they're able to start, so get geared up. So we get
Yeah, it
timing.
says,
I think that we can request to list.
yeah, it says county may request to see contractor quotes, is what we put in the RFP.
It just says that the requirements were that all the proposals should include all materials, components, labor, and associated costs. That they are responsible for determining whether permits or licenses are required for the specific scope of work and for obtaining the permits. Submit proof of workers' compensation and liability insurance, payment performance bond required for projects over 150,000, and must state estimated time frame for completion once bid is awarded. 3 recent client references must be provided, that they will be responsible for disposal of debris, and when it was due, and all of that, so. You're welcome to.
So what are our options?
First is to move forward. Second is delay another month, even though all the contractors have been contacted. I'm ready to move forward.
Well, I know it's an issue everywhere, trying to get help, but it's also not very transparent to taxpayers to have one bid.
But we really don't have control over how many we receive. We
Right.
only have control over
Right.
how
I
our
understand
process
that.
of
It was
soliciting.
It was transparent in that it was advertised and it was communicated with directly to all the contractors.
Here's
Yes,
the actual-
Sharon, would you like to comment?
May I
Here's
comment
actual
that?
final language of the RFP.
Before Bryce left, he had talked with several contractors. He even invited whomever would be interested to come and look at the building. There was very little interest in this project. We've only had 2 contractors that have been even really remotely interested in this project for the duration of this entire time. I can tell you that. So I don't know that putting it out for a rebid or extending it is gonna do us any good, honestly. But that's your choice.
The other thing is we had set a budget, if we can complete it in the budget. Commissioner Dolphy, I'm anxious to hear your advice.
Thank you. How long did you say it'd been out? August 1st or August 31st?
August 31st.
31st, so it's been out 30 days almost, 20 days.
The official RFP has.
Okay.
You know,
You got one contractor and that's it?
yeah.
If we
You
don't like
said-
the contract, if we see it,
Did another one actually look at the physical location?
Yes,
And they chose not to bid.
yes.
if we get a bid, we don't like it, don't accept it.
And then we disclose. That's the problem, is we end up disclosing and then you have to reject and start clear back over, rather than just extending the time.
Yeah.
If you wanted to reach out to some outside, just so that you know this bid is in line.
I mean, if you try to get a bid from Newton, they're gonna charge you windshield time.
Right. Well, the estimate they won't.
Huh?
The estimate they won't, but it may be reflected in their
Oh,
number.
it's gonna be there someplace.
In their number.
Those
yeah.
guys aren't gonna drive an hour for nothing.
Yeah. Well, they'll
Two.
drive to look at it. for
I know, but when they start construction,
Yeah.
we're gonna pay
But as far as getting
2 hours.
a cost comparison, you could open it up to outside county.
But won't they add in for their labor cost?
Yeah, and so if they come in neck and neck, then we know something's up. Because they shouldn't be cheaper.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna ask the counselor a question. Before we open the bids, can we, how do I wanna say, put the constraint on it, if it falls under our budget, we can accept it. If it's over budget, we reject it. Because we did set a budget.
Yeah, if I'm understanding your question
Mhm.
correctly, if you want to go ahead at this point and note that without having seen the bid thus far, that it's your requirement that it be under budget or under the budgeted number, or it won't be accepted at this time, you can do that.
Tina? Help me.
Well, it's just that you do have the bid because, and some of the commissioners have looked at it because it was on the table for you before the meeting. So I don't know that that's necessarily super helpful.
I guess the point I'm trying to get to is, yes, we only have one bid, but if it's below the budget, I would be in favor of accepting the bid. So how do I handle that?
Well, once you open it, as that's been
Yes.
discussed, and that is accurate, once we've got it, you've gone down to a point of no return with regard to the current bid submission process. If you're not happy with it, even if it's under budget and you choose to reject it, you're gonna start over, at least to the extent of resubmitting it for bid.
So what, if you don't get anybody else to bid on it then?
And there's always a risk too that you don't get
Any bids at all.
bids and then the current bidder withdraws.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the cost goes up.
Or the cost goes up.
Yeah.
Because we lost our spot in line.
We table this for 7 days and direct Marcy and Sharon to contact the one other contractor to just see if he had any interest in bidding. If not,
He already said he's not.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
It's a
We
slippery
didn't
slope
submit
too,
it.
because there's a bid date.
That's
Right.
just it. I feel like they were all given an equal opportunity
Yeah, I
to
think the biggest
respond.
problem is the deadline.
And we didn't receive any phone calls, no emails, didn't stop by.
If
He's
we
got
want-
my cell
If we
phone
want cost
number.
comparison, we would have to reject it. Try again, but they do bring up some good points. Somebody may not bid again. Definitely, the cost will not go down.
Go up 10% probably.
I don't know,
And when.
that's a big chunk, those are large chunks of money
When-
without
when-
having at least 2 bids.
When you were first starting the process and Bryce was giving his estimate of how much it was gonna cost, that's kind of where you started off with your budget numbers.
Okay, so if I would like to proceed to accept the bid, how would I do that?
Well, at this point, by accepting it, you mean opening it
Yes.
and disclosing it publicly?
Yes.
You'd make that motion to just, well, basically just open the bid at this
Okay.
point. And then if for some reason, because that's where you're at and the deadline is passed and it's been submitted, so they have a good faith expectation that it's going to be. Your reason for rejecting it without knowing what it is publicly would be the fact that you didn't get 2 or more. And the way the request for proposal is written, I think we could, I was saying, that there was that element of potential contemplation, but it is a point beyond which you cannot go. You know, if you're gonna go back at this point, you're really gonna go back and invite everyone to resubmit.
Okay, should the tables be turned, should be a motion to not accept the bid opening? Okay, is there a motion to not accept the bid opening? If not, we will proceed and open bids.
Is it possible to disclose who you sent those RFPs to?
Sure. So the RFP was sent to Weeby Construction, Kane Construction, NF Construction, Icon Structures, Spring Branch Construction, Gator Construction, Boats Construction, and Both Construction.
And it was on our website and advertised in the newspaper.
And their responses, there just generally wasn't a lot of interest in this project. So I think we also risk our subcontractors abandoning this project if we bid out for rebid as well. Because I think that we made it clear that we wanted a GC to use local contractors as much as possible. And so if you put this out for rebid, I feel like you could potentially lose local business.
Very good.
If they choose to use local business.
Okay, I'll ask one more time, is there a motion to not proceed with the bid opening? If not, we will proceed. Last call. All right, we proceed with the bid opening. We received one bid, and it's from Nelson Fowles for the remodel of 1240 Commercial Drive. And lump sum price of $239,807, excluding the wellness fees. Questions? Yes, Commissioner Locke.
All that we read on here, Sharon, is everything on here? I mean, what about change orders? How's that gonna be handled and stuff like that?
So as long as we're under our budget and I feel like we have some flexibility to make minor changes, the items that are listed on the proposal will be provided at the, included in that total cost. So I think as long as we're still under our budget, I'm not sure that we need a change order.
I mean,
Well-
while they're in the construction, who's gonna handle that? Who's gonna do that? You guys are gonna do that? Okay.
Yes. But the price of, like, when there is a change order, because it would be going above, if you accept a bid, that would still have to come here,
Yeah.
dollar amounts for approval.
Correct.
For change orders.
If it's over their,
If it's over the award amount.
oh, yes, okay, that makes sense.
And for approval.
Right. So there's some flexibility in a total project number. So the total that was given that this project can be completed for, you know, if a certain line item costs a little more and another line item costs a little less, as long as it's under or at that mark,
Right.
then we would handle all of that administratively.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
There were also some other,
Options.
3 more options,
Right.
which.
So the other options were 12-person above grade concrete storm shelter, power and utility excluded, 13,800. 22 kW natural gas air-cooled generator, 12,000. And then architectural drawings with finish, not stamped by a licensed architect, would add $1,940.
And it's up to them to add that, or do we need to add
Yeah,
that?
we would need to add the options. And I'm guessing the storm shelter, there would possibility of grant funds available, possibly.
Possibly, I mean, that adds another element, definitely another cost element.
Well, true.
If you apply for brick funds,
Right.
the thing with brick is you cannot start construction on it
Ah.
before awarded brick funds. If FEMA finds out you start construction beforehand, they will.
Would the construction consider just the storm shelter, or is it the whole project?
Just the storm shelter.
Okay.
Normally, that's why we kind of had that storm shelter separate.
Right.
Because what we're hoping is to get brick funding to build it.
Okay.
And in that case, you can't start construction on it until
Okay.
FEMA says, here's your check.
Okay.
This is not attached to the building.
The storm shelter?
Yeah.
Not at this time.
Would you
Well, and it
recommend-
wouldn't be attached, it'd be separate structure, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
going to
EMS
be,
can
yeah,
use
it's
it
going to
too.
be a
Right.
separate structure because we're not just using it for this structure, we're also using it for the EMS building that's out there. So, and since those are 2 county structures, the structure itself for the storm shelter would actually be probably on this property, but it would be a separate structure.
So would you
That's
recommend
accessible.
not taking action on that option until a later date, the storm shelter?
You mean
Yeah.
until we find out
Yeah.
whether or not we get brick?
Yeah, or do we go ahead with the approval to proceed, but just not do the construction until?
So I think, is that a budgeted amount under that bid? So if we were to receive brick funds,
Mhm.
I would estimate that we'd probably still wind up paying close to that anyways.
You want one where they get the funds and all.
It would be nice.
I think our staff would appreciate
It
it.
is a safety issue for staff, no question.
Especially since there's not one out there. I mean, it's not like we can come over to the courthouse.
Right,
I mean, based on its location, that's why we put it in there,
right.
for safety reasons for county.
I know where you're gonna be anyway, you're not gonna be down there.
Yeah, that's just it. Marcy and I are.
But everybody else is.
We won't be in there.
Just saying.
I
She's gonna
can't,
be
I
running
gotta
around.
be running around. I have to report back, but
So I guess another question is if we were awarded a brick fund, would you have to send that out for bids anyways?
Separately,
yes.
yeah.
It has to be separate.
So I wonder if maybe you should just reject that portion of.
Well, not
that
act from
alternate.
that option.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then just put that out separate.
Okay.
Maybe the builder would be nice enough to just cement that in at that figure for us, and if we don't get the funding, then do it later on, 60 days, 90 days from now. I don't know how long, how long it would take to find out on that funding, but later on, come back then.
Okay, so separate that off.
Yeah.
How would we have to handle that in the future if we don't get a brick grant for it, would we have to put that piece back out for bids, or would we just, is this still allowed in our budget?
Is this just
or-
a standalone kind of structure?
Yes.
So you could accept it pending that funding, pending funding on that,
Contingent
just
upon.
that alternate. And then you could still get other bids
On that
on
specific.
that if it's required by the brick.
I mean, it
Okay.
was put out as an alternate to each of those people that received the RFP. I don't know if that counts or not. And it may have to do with a timeline, like you, the 2023 request may not be accepted, I don't know. 2024 brick fund.
Okay, so staff recommendation then would be to accept the option, but make it contingent upon brick. Okay. I would assume that the drawings for 1,940 would be money well spent.
Yes, we really don't have, except for what we did on the computer, we don't
I
have.
thought for adult worse that.
I am not an architect.
Okay, and then the generator. John made a comment, it's not large enough.
Well, no, it's 22 kW natural gas, so I'm just trying to determine whether or not that it's the right generator for the application. I don't know without going over and looking at
And
it.
you got air conditioning and computers. You don't have big refrigerators, nothing like that.
Just one staff refrigerator.
Yeah. Wait, that's where you're gonna put E. coli too? Sorry, I'll be
Nice.
quiet.
It'll be on the other side of the
Okay,
counter.
thank you.
It'll be much smaller.
It's like my lab at the existing building.
Put the lunch
I think the
beside.
22 will handle it. 26 would be better, but for some reason I'm thinking it's a three-phase entry, and that's not a 22 kW, it's a 20.
Why do they have three phase out there?
I don't know. For some reason I'm thinking it's a three-phase. But it may not be, it may be. It's been so long since I've looked at it.
Yeah.
We could bid the generators.
Then you get a change order, yeah. That's what I'm saying. And then I'm looking at all these clarifications and these exclusions.
So why don't we bid the generator separate? It's
Well,
not-
I thought we had looked at it, and the size of the generator to meet it a year ago.
Yes, that would have been listed in this. It doesn't. It just says,
Is there a requirement?
says backup generator with emergency shutoff. It doesn't specify.
Doesn't specify. All right. Okay, we decided to change it, and it'll be changed.
All right. All toilet accessories provided by Marion County. Everybody's clear of that.
Accessories mean
Toilets.
tissue paper.
I don't know. It's, does it mean that they're not providing the toilets?
No, the
No,
toilets are in the bed.
listed in the RFP. I think it means like probably paper towel holders and.
I think it listed them here.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Under the
right.
plumbing part.
Security system.
Soap dispensers, those
Security
things.
system.
The security system we're doing completely separate from the.
Because it has to
Now, the
hook into.
one question I did have on that was the data, it just, like
Ah.
the data drops, they're not running that Cat6 wire, that's what it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
So, I don't think that's kind of.
Your
what was
generator
intended.
notes are three-phase. Just in case you're wondering.
Because she takes excellent notes.
Thank you, Marcy. You're amazing. So I mean, 22 kW is not gonna be a three-phase generator. Not in a certain brand, I guess. All of a sudden, if it was a Kohler, maybe. I don't know if it was.
So do we need to get
We
some
don't want to mix brands
clarifications
and
on
say
this?
one brand.
It's gonna make a difference. It'll be a change order. If you accept the bid.
Well, you accept the lump sum bid, and then you have your three options.
Yeah.
You just
And you
take
can-
two of the options and not take that option, and then you just do whatever it is later in a separate, so that you get the appropriate one. 'Cause
And I
that would have to
believe
turn
that
around and
was
be-
our whole purpose of doing it as an option.
Mhm.
Because at one point in time, the commission had discussed getting,
No, I.
bulk generators, or a lot of generators at once. So that's why we used it as an option and not in the,
Yeah. No, I know the last time we talked, they said go ahead and put it as an alternate. I'm just seeing that it's, I'm not
big
sure
enough.
it's the right alternate.
Exactly.
We just wouldn't exercise that option.
But the cabling and the devices, being provided by others, we just need to make sure that that happens.
Okay.
Since it's excluded here, because,
Yeah.
we don't want to like have them do everything
No.
and us not have the cabling.
Yeah, coordinate with the cabling and the security
What's the
system.
cutoff box?
Yeah, that part was a little bit confusing because of being a government agency, we had to have certain things done by
Mhm.
government contractors,
Right.
basically. And so where their responsibilities end and the GCs start is a little,
Okay.
Patching of any damaged existing exterior wall, roof structure is excluded. There's some damages all around the outside of the building.
patching.
well, aren't they tearing down the siding and putting up?
I
think
don't
that's
know
in
why
there.
they would,
Yeah, the roof isn't included in our scope, the roof is in good shape.
yeah.
So I think it says existing exterior wall.
So
So-
they're ripping the whole facade off the outside and re-going with new.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, in the RFP, let me see if I can find it. Because we talked about the exterior.
Remove all existing fascia, siding and soffits is
Yes.
included in
Yeah,
the
in the
scope
demo.
of work in the demo.
And then install new pre-finished concrete fascia and soffits and gutters. So the only thing stains the roof. Because there was a lot of damage on that outside.
Put in new windows with more holes cut, covered up some windows.
Right. And then we did put that in
Moving
the RFP.
You're moving the doors too, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, because they
So-
have to be those
They have to
security doors.
reside it.
Well, the siding is included under rough carpentry, all new 8-inch pre-finished concrete lap siding and trim. So it's included.
Yeah, and it does say under rough carpentry, infill exterior doors, the two exterior doors where we moved those.
Okay, other questions? Not, I move to approve the bid from Nelson Fowles for the remodel of 1220 Commercial Drive, exercising the option, including the option to provide architectural drawings, $1,940, and also the option to provide 12-person above grade concrete storm shelter, contingent upon brick funding. And the final condition would be coordinating with the cable and security installation.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dalkey, discussion.
One more question.
Yeah.
Still gonna pay it out of COVID funds?
We had that, where did we have it coming from?
It's under COVID funds.
It was.
You have,
I thought it was management.
you had it in a line item in the road and bridge building.
Okay. So it's a line item already in the budget.
We didn't take it all.
I think that, initially when you bought that building, it was gonna be a health department. You
Yeah.
had that out of
Yes.
COVID funds.
Yes.
And so we bought it with COVID monies. But I think the remodel was supposed to be coming out of other
Yeah,
sources.
we budgeted.
We changed it, I didn't erase that.
Yeah,
I'll get that removed.
I mean, I can, you want me to verify real quick?
It's up to Kent. Do you want it verified?
What's that?
Do you want it verified that it's in the budget for road and bridge?
Or do you want me to get that for you Friday?
We don't need to verify. I can look it up in the budget line item.
Thank you, Tina. Other questions? Not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
I'm sorry,
Aye.
who seconded?
Commissioner Dahlke.
Okay, thank you.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion passed 3-2. Commissioner Becker and Commissioner Gearing opposed. Sharon and Marcy, thank you for all your work. You've had a lot of loose ends to chase down. We appreciate it. Now the work begins.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'll need to get with him because we're gonna need the contract and also his bond and
Yeah, sure,
insurance.
24 bucks.
I would look for, yeah.
If you look in the 23 column of the final budget, which that's what I was gonna verify.
Road bridge.
On Road Bridge, I have to double check to see what we did.
Sorry, the generator, what was the motion on that?
They did not pass that.
Okay, well, that was not
They
accepted.
rejected.
The generator.
The generator.
Okay. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you.
County Councilor.
Um,
Welcome.
That's it. I think we should get the executive sessions out of the way. They're not terribly long. First one, attorney-client privilege, litigation. 10 minutes.
All right, I move that we recess to executive session in order to discuss which litigation?
Matters of litigation.
Matters of litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item 2, consultation with our attorney, attorney-client privilege with the commission, Brad and Tina, for 10 minutes, 1:50 to 2 o'clock. Second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0, back at 2 o'clock.
I'll find it.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're out of executive session, no decisions made. Nice weather out there.
Yes, it is.
Well, it is a little warm for some, but it's still a lot better than it was 2 weeks ago. Do you have any updates before we move into?
Yes, we will be closing 190th between Kansas and Limestone again tomorrow for the Peabody main water line repair.
Okay.
They are having problems again, but they're having problems locating the line first of all. And so tomorrow they hopefully can get a hold of it and get her done.
People kept asking me and I kept thinking, why is that closed?
I did notify the dispatch. We will be opening it up again at the around 3 o'clock and then closing it again tomorrow from 7 to 3.
Are they having to excavate through the roadway or can they bore?
It should be off to the
They're
side.
not, the water line runs vertically with the road.
Oh, okay, okay, it's not crossing.
It's in the ditch, it's on the back slope of the ditch.
But it's just so close to the road that
Right.
it's a safety issue. Okay, now I understand.
We got no shoulders.
Sure.
It's just a
Yep.
ditch.
Yep, and as I remember, the line was laid
Either
pretty
on or
close to
off.
it.
Yeah.
Also as well, they're coming along really well on the Indigo project between 120th and 130th. They've already laid rock, got a compaction done. Possibly weather looks like it's looking pretty good. They should be laying asphalt by the end of the week. So that's a good deal. And then the 1st of October, which will be next Monday, a week from today, they're planning on doing the Nighthawk project from north and south of 190th. So we're gonna get started on that.
That's the microsurface.
No, that is the rubble strips and the
Oh.
asphalt
Okay,
going approximately 2,000 feet on each side
okay,
of 190th.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard from the microsurfacing guys. Last time I heard that they were planning on being here the 1st of October.
Okay.
And then because it was short notice or short season, they're gonna possibly bring in 2 crews
Oh,
to get it knocked out fast.
yes.
Well, that's good and bad. You'll have more roads
Well-
at one time that people are upset.
But it'll get done fast.
Yeah.
Commissioner Dahlke.
If the commission would like, this is just suggestion, If you remember, Road and Bridge put in a culvert, box culvert, about, I don't know how far from the end of the project on the north end of 190th and Nighthawk. And there's only about yay much
Fill
on top of that bridge.
And it breaks out.
And that blows out. It hasn't lately, but it did right after the project was done, if you remember, and we had to go back in. Just suggestions was to extend from where the end of that project on our dime, the Road and Bridge dime, to go from the end of this project that you're talking about, Steve, to go just past that box culvert to give it some more lift, and if it's gonna be nice blacktop, maybe it wouldn't blow out so much. So I'd like you to look at it, Steve, and see.
I'll talk with the contractor and also the engineer and see if that would be feasible. I would have to find out, I can't remember what the wording is for that, an
amendment to the, whatever
to
it
the
is.
contract.
Yeah, and if the commission would.
I don't think we could do that, but
Yeah,
it's just because it's a state deal.
State project.
But I agree with you, it needs to be done, and if we could find a way to do it,
Okay.
we should find a way.
If the contractor would do it kind of as a.
Out of separate bill to us.
It'd be like a separate project.
Yeah,
Right,
it cannot be under the same
Right,
project.
it'd have to be a separate.
I think
Right.
I remember Bryce laying that out pretty clear.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think
basically,
you're right.
possibly extending the project going south.
Yeah, south, just past that box culvert.
Just offhand, what is it, maybe 200-300 more feet or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah, 300 maybe, or
Okay.
so.
All right, I'll
And maybe
check
more
on
than that,
that.
but take a look at it and see if you can, Steve. I think it would pay us to do that.
Right, in the long run.
In the long run, so.
It definitely would, it'll bridge the two better too.
That is scheduled to get in microservice though.
Yeah.
That's what'd be nice if it could be before.
Right.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be either way.
Either way,
It
because
could be
one
either
needs
way.
to overlap the other,
Yeah.
something.
This is only on the one section of Nighthawk, south of 190th.
Yeah.
This is on.
Yeah, okay, very good, okay.
A little bit of bad news, our oil distributor, one of the main pumps broke on it, and we're waiting for parts. We lost one whole week last week because of that, and.
I heard about the Pilsen, or not Pilsen, Ramona Road.
Yes.
I got
We
wind
got
of
the
that
first mile
the
out,
other
and
day.
then it went kaput on
And I
us.
said, then we ain't seen them in a while.
And we were doing really well. I mean, we were getting a lot done in a good time.
You got a lot of projects going, so.
That's one piece of equipment you can't.
I've
really-
contacted APAC, Circle D paving. A lot of those guys are finishing up projects right now too, so there really isn't anything available. Etnire's one down in Wichita. They don't really have anything on that just laying around. I know we've had that distributor for a while, and it's kind of nickel and diming us. It seems like almost every season, either blade patching or chip sealing, something happens, and unfortunately, it kind of hurts us a little bit.
Put a new motor in that thing.
Yes, one of the, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, the piston, the truck got hot and one of the pistons scorched and.
Is the main problem the truck, or is the main problem the apparatus on the back?
Both.
Both.
Pretty simple. I mean, we're looking at, if we ever do think about getting rid of, well, this is something in the future, but that would possibly, right now, it still holds value as far as trading in, possibly getting another one, a bigger one. Right now, this is a 2,200 gallon tank. It'd be nice to get a 3,500 gallon tank. It would just a double axle. We could do a lot more in a lot less time. So just something to think about in the future. So,
All right, I know you've got a lot of projects going on.
Yes.
But the importance of it is you do chip sealing, what all do you do with that truck though?
Chip sealing and blade patch.
Yeah, you do
Yes,
both, so I
yes.
mean, that's the importance of this truck, right?
Right, and we started blade patching this year, the 1st of June, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, it gets a lot of months.
Yeah.
a lot of use.
Very good.
Let's see, what else was there? I am in contact with an engineering firm about the 2 bridges that we were awarded up on Mustang and 310th. I'm in the process of getting stuff done on that.
Good.
I'll need to get with Tina about a few things on the 290th West project, where we had to do a QBS. And also, I know we ran that ad in the paper, but it was only in the free press. But anyway, yeah, we haven't heard any from engineering firms that wanted to.
Did you send it
take
out
that on.
directly? So it need to also be sent out to some of the engineering firms that
Okay.
we use.
I'll make sure that gets done then. Okay.
290th, economic development,
Yes.
uh,
I did get confirmation that we did get that time extension on the bid letting to the end of the year, so just
Yeah.
wanted to let you all know that.
Right. Yeah. And I know that EBH has been working on getting the plans drawn up on that. So.
Okay.
At this time, I'd like to go in executive session to discuss personnel,
The director position?
Non-elected.
The character, yeah, non-elected.
Right. 15 minutes, or a little longer than that?
We can always extend it if need be.
Okay, let's start with 15 then. I move that we recess in the executive session in order to discuss personnel, non-elected personnel, performance of individual pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personal matters, non-elected personnel performance, with Commission Brad, Tina, and Steve for 15 minutes from 2:10 to 2:25.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gary. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 5-0, back at 2:25. Is that you?
This conference will now be recorded.
Out of executive session, no decisions made. All right, Tina, last week we had asked for some revisions on job descriptions.
Yep. Sorry, I got some slobber on that one. There you go.
No.
Sorry, Steve.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yes,
I don't think this is supposed to have, we have that back, but I think we took that off, actually. All right. Sorry. I think I had Cherry take off that signature part, but I don't think she reprinted it after that. Would you take one of these and pass it?
Stand-up, right?
Take one and pass it. And then here's this one. It's got a second page, but won't be there.
Okay.
Okay, so what you have are some revised job descriptions for the road and bridge superintendents. And the revisions would make that position be department head. Then you have the new administrative coordinator position, which would be taking care of the administrative and financial portions in the office, so a senior level office staff, which is a new position. And then you have a revised job description for the shop supervisor, which basically adds some more responsibilities to that position. So they would have all their current responsibilities, but then also take over the responsibility for maintenance, for facilities maintenance, like for all the road and bridge buildings, and also a little bit more responsibility about equipment bids, and then also adding on-call for emergencies, and then one of the most important things and probably the biggest responsibilities would be that this person would be the second in command for the department. So in the absence of the road and bridge superintendent, which would be shifted to the department head, this position would be like a deputy. So those are the changes. I have some recommended pay scales, pay bands to go along with those. So, our county engineer position was the highest pay band that we have, which is a Q. I would recommend that the road and bridge superintendent position, with now being department head, plus in charge of all of the technical staff out in the fields, would be placed at a P. The shop supervisor is currently in pay band L, and I would recommend that that one would be placed at a pay band M. And then the new administrative coordinator position, I would recommend either be placed at a pay band J or a pay band K.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for all the work and putting these together. Questions from the commission? Comments from Steve?
No.
I think this rearrangement of duties is perhaps a better fit for your department. I see some real strengths in bringing the shop supervisor up and those additional responsibilities for you, and then working together with the administrative coordinator. I think that'll all make a good fit for Marion County.
Right.
I think we got the wording the way we wanted at this point.
Okay.
On the job description, at least the way I'm reading it.
Okay.
I mean, I realize it's something different from the past.
Right.
But, you know, why not try something new?
Right.
So,
Well, eventually you find the right mesh.
Right.
together.
yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Dalkey?
What was the shop supervisor's recommendations?
Pay band M.
M.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
And I would say, since you, well, we're just talking about position, not the individual
Right.
person right now, so
Right.
that's the pay band I would recommend.
Okay.
Yes. Because they're taking on significant responsibilities.
I would go ahead and make a motion to approve all these job details: road and bridge administrative coordinator, road and bridge shop supervisor, and the road and bridge superintendent as presented, along with a pay band P for road and bridge superintendent, M for shop supervisor, and J for administrative coordinator.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the 3 job descriptions and pay grade or levels.
Pay bands, uh-huh.
Pay bands. Find the right
No,
one.
pay grades, you're right. We call them
What?
grades
What did you
instead of
say?
bands.
What'd you say?
You're right.
It's still a band, it's still a grade.
If we get enough names, eventually it'll come up with the right one. Okay, discussion on the positions. This is a big change, but I think one that's fits well. Okay, if there's no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. So we have,
Steve, do you have a recommendation as far as the workshop supervisor?
Yes, I do. Gentleman's been doing that position for 18 years. I think that he is well qualified for the position, and I would nominate Tom Hall to be our shop supervisor.
I'd make a motion to accept Tom Holland as recommended at pay grade band M, step 3.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dalkey. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion carried 5-0. Very good.
Did you want to take action on your department head?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to?
It should come from the chair.
Well, I would, Steve, we've been very pleased with your performance. We've had you've been thrown into a very heavy, responsible position, but you've been carrying a big load for years for Marion County. We appreciate your work and look forward to a lot more in the future. So I would ask if you would take the position of Road and Bridge Superintendent under the new job description.
I'd be happy to.
And I've make that as a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Garing. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Congratulations. No longer interim.
And will that be under step one?
Yes, that would be
Okay.
under the approved.
P, step
P
one.
is step one. P is in Paul.
Okay.
I think that is, I just thought that one unsaid, because there's no place else to put it.
Very good. Very good. Again, appreciate all your work.
Now you just need to fill the coordinator
Yeah.
and the tech.
I'll get with you tomorrow.
Okay,
And
and
I
we'll,
have
yeah, we'll go ahead and
And
get
then all the
it posted,
MD.
get that one posted and advertised.
I'll
And all the
follow
graders.
up on a few other things tomorrow.
Okay, I was just thinking, I'm never busy, so
Oh, yeah.
I'll be here.
Sure.
She'll always make time for you. Thanks, Steve.
All right, guys. See
Thank
you later.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Commissioner Dalkey just has a few minutes left.
No, I've got more, I've read the clock wrong, I'm sorry. I've got 3:15, I can be there.
Oh, we got
I
all
some time.
kinds of time.
So I've got
I forgot to ask for it, but
Yeah, it's still coming.
executive for employee.
Yes. Do you want to
Did
do
you,
yours?
it doesn't matter to me, I didn't know if Brad has any more attorney-client that he
Yes.
needs to go through.
One quick thing. Start this process with the handing all of them out. And
This executive.
no, this is just something I want to have everyone have, copy of the routine, or probably have, but just.
Oh, the big one. This should be thicker than that.
It actually is, this is the original.
Is this the cover sheet?
This is the cheat sheet?
This is before the attorney gets a hold of it.
Yeah.
No, it'd be like 27.
And unfortunately, she's right.
So there's no way that can be.
I just wanted to give you this unadulterated to start with.
Before you
So-
send it downstairs to have it read
Read
correctly
back,
before we put it back on the floor to vote on it?
Yeah.
You got one?
Yes.
This is basically what we have in place currently, and if you have a few minutes during the course of the week, you'd read through this, this kind of gives you your baseline. And then I'm gonna start using memos again, because with everything, I've got 2 pages of stuff for you at this point.
Yeah.
And this is one of the, there's like 4 different agreements that I've revised, redone, and some proposed changes to how we manage different things at the lake. Some of which I've talked to Isaac about, a number of them I haven't, because I really haven't had a chance. That I'll go over with him during the course of this week. But this was a good starting point. I wanted to hand this out and announce what you're gonna start getting. And it's a bunch of different agreements
Okay,
that
so
we need to
this
have in place.
is the current.
Yes, this is what is currently in place.
The base.
And about the only one we have from which I felt like I could work without jettisoning the whole thing and starting over. So, and the one that I have is much longer. Unfortunately, Tina's gonna be correct about all of these. They're gonna be longer than what you've had. I just don't have a choice to actually deal with what we have to.
Commissioner Chairman,
Yes.
can I ask this attorney a question?
Yes.
Have you been updated on a situation that's happened on the sale of a trailer house? It's been gonna be removed from the trailer and then the lot trying to be sold under
No.
still?
No.
Well, that's something that's happened here since you've been sick, and I think we need to thoroughly discuss it at some point in time here.
There's
so that-
severing, yeah.
Because-
I thought Isaac had gotten hold of you.
No, he called, left a message, I called him back, he said, I think it's been resolved. At least that's the one that,
Yeah, it has, but,
he didn't tell me anything about it.
yeah, and it has been resolved because the guy's backing down. But it's interesting to what the guy was trying to do and whether we want to allow something to this.
That would affect this.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. so-
I'll call him and ask him about the
Yeah.
background of
If
that.
they keep paying lot rent without a trailer there, don't they still have right?
Well, it depends upon the circumstances under which they leased it. And that's, again, a lot of what's being changed here.
And that's exactly what we want to change before somebody else tries this, because it's just
Yeah.
adultery. It's
Well,
not, but it.
But, you know.
Yeah, you got 90 days to put something on it, something like that.
The other
Refers
thing
back
is,
to the lake.
the other thing is if it's an eyesore and somebody goes to get rid of it, and then you tell them, well, they can't sell the lot because you got rid of the trailer, but you could sell the lot with the trailer, well, then the eyesore sits there forever. So that's, I mean, I'm just looking on
Right,
both
right.
sides.
But we'd have to prove the sale if they didn't.
We're getting into a lot of what I was.
Yeah.
Zeke
We've got
is
some
thicker.
tremendous.
Have we always
inconsistencies
approved
in what we currently have.
sale?
No,
Because,
we never
I
have.
mean, there's been mobile homes in the last 5 years that have sold that.
Sold, they're doing this all the time, and I think it just opens up a whole big, this deal opened up a whole big can of worms that we need to be prepared on, or so that we know what's gonna happen, and Isaac knows what's gonna happen, or how we handle
Because
something.
he has nothing right now, candidly.
Correct.
And it's, right now, we don't define it as a severable interest, which gets to your point, but yet that I did understand was potentially happening, plus the kinds of issues that can be created if someone has stuff out there wears out or just goes to pot and you wanna get it off of there, well, now what do you
If
do?
somebody burns down.
Yeah, yeah.
We've had all of this happen.
It's a
We just
lapse
haven't had
interest at
rules
that
to
point,
this
we don't have
effect.
any definition.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you for bringing that up. So,
Make them buy the
I'll follow
lot.
up with him on that one, just so I know what the particulars
don't
were
wanna
there,
sell
but
it.
that's been part of this as well.
We wanna keep the land for
But then
Berry
you,
County.
but then you HOA them.
Oh, God.
That's a
Oh, no.
no-brainer, HOA.
Brad says no,
Then you can
I
tell
don't,
them.
I don't wanna
fix it up.
manage an HOA.
but it has to be a certain.
I don't think any of the commissioners do.
No, I don't want, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
That's it for today, because we already talked about Lang. Tina provided that, I've talked about those things in executive. No, one other one. We should have, I believe, in short order, or at least a resolution offered to you on the bridge damages.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been pushing that a little bit, that kind of died on the vine
Okay.
for about a month and a half, and I hadn't heard from them, so I'm hoping we'll get that done now as well.
Very good.
What about the rental stuff?
That's all.
It's all part of all that.
I've been through all that at this point, and so these are all drafts for you. You'll have to decide, I can send them out to you electronically, and as you read through this, you'll probably get a sense that this is gonna take us a little while, because I got a bunch of questions for you. And however you wanna do that, if you wanna do it as a dedicated time for each week, or if you wanna set something separate to just hammer through all that stuff, it's pretty much all lake related.
How about you start laying the groundwork as we get in a little bit more into off-season, so we can work with Isaac, you know, this winter,
That's
make it a
what-
winter project, to get it, our goal to have it hammered out.
Yeah, that's fine with me, however you wanna do it. I mean, I went through them all.
January 1st is a deadline, isn't it?
On some things, yeah.
When they start their new.
Oh, okay, so
When they start their new
meeting
rent.
in place by.
Yeah, we need the
July.
rental agreements
Okay.
for the
All right.
storage and for the trailers.
Yeah, the RVs, everything, that all needed to be covered.
By Thanksgiving.
I'm okay with that if you guys wanna take the time.
Are we gonna,
You're-
are we
I'm
gonna
not
have to
gonna disagree
litigate
with
that
you.
bridge?
I'm not gonna disagree, because that's.
It's gonna take us,
I think
give us a month to.
Right, right.
At least not so far. The indications that I've had in
Yeah,
terms of the numbers we discussed,
We missed Labor Day.
I think are okay. We'll find out if they deliver on what they're suggesting.
And that was Thanksgiving this year?
Yes.
I really expect to get some more blowback on
Sorry.
extending these to where they could, remember when Isaac was in here and asked about staying longer?
Right.
Now,
I really expected the room to fill up the next week.
Right.
you know, Isaac had a meeting with all the
Oh,
people,
okay.
and only 2 people were kinda interested in it. It was a non-issue.
Okay.
So that one's gonna.
He's thinking about leaving it alone.
Yeah,
Right.
well, that's usually what I do, is throw some stuff in the air and see
He did,
if
and
it
nobody
blows up,
went-
then just stay away from it.
Nobody wanted to stay year round.
Yeah.
I'm okay with leaving it alone conceptually. I'm not okay leaving it alone with the agreements that we don't have.
I mean, Mark
Say
raised,
jettison, does that mean you're gonna make it?
we could raise the rates.
We're gonna throw it around.
It's gonna have the engine on it. Jettison. Okay.
It is a good point.
Okay, other issues for Bill?
That's it for today.
Thank you for bringing that back up to the forefront. So,
This will come next week. I have to get more information from Tina about this work.
That's all I have.
Oh, God. I'm afraid
Well, I
you'll tell me
mean,
that.
you can ask me, but
You're gonna tell me you don't know. what you're gonna say.
I just
Just gotta
read
say,
it and I
figure
thought,
it
oh,
out.
that's going in Brad's file, I'm not even gonna look at
This is
it.
your file.
That's Brad's file.
Sounds interesting.
Tina, you had requested executive session.
Yes, it's to discuss the performance of specific individuals.
Okay, and how long would you like?
Oh, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Or 5 minutes maybe is all we need.
I move we recess into executive session in order to discuss personnel performance of a specific individual pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, Item 1, Personnel Matters, Non-Elected Personnel Performance, with Tina, the commission, Brad, for 10 minutes, 2:45 to 2:55.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, 5-0. We are back at 2:55.
You do have a land bank meeting scheduled for next Monday.
For when?
Next Monday at 11:30, if you decide to hold it.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're out of executive session, no decisions made. We have a couple other issues to wrap up. Ambulance position, are we ready to proceed with advertising?
Yes.
Yes.
Because there should be no changes to the job description. Okay, let's proceed with the advertising for full-time, not emergency medical, EMS,
Okay.
Emergency Medical Services Director.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let me check and see if we have any information on that invoice.
The garage doors, yes.
Walk on us.
And a cigarette.
You're cruel, buddy.
Okay, she had called, but no, in her message, they haven't called back, but Ashley's gonna go ahead and call now too, just,
Okay.
one more try there.
Yeah.
All right, any commission comments? No? Okay, let's look at the schedule. Payday, Friday the 29th, 9 o'clock. Regular meeting, October 2nd at 12:30. Land Bank at 11:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holiday, what holiday is it night?
Columbus Day.
Oh,
So we are meeting on the Tuesday the 10th.
yeah. Oh, I have something else that I wanted to talk to you about.
Executive.
No, it's not. It's, that just reminded me though, civil rights training for employees. We have an obligation because we receive federal funding to provide some civil rights training. We can offer it through, K-Camp. There's an attorney that can offer that to us and it wouldn't cost extra, won't cost anything. It's just a matter of getting all the employees together for it. And so I didn't know how we want to try to facilitate that. Like if we wanted to do, it's gonna probably require, if we're doing it during business hours, that we shut down for an hour or an hour and a half to get everybody to be able to go to it.
Is it
So,
mandatory that everybody attends?
It's mandatory.
It's required.
It's required to offer it, but is it mandatory that everybody attends?
I think you would make it mandatory for employees
Yeah,
to
if
be
we're gonna
there.
go ahead and say
That-
that.
But anyway,
two
just-
positions
Well, sometimes, you're supposed to offer things, doesn't mean you.
Is this the first time we've had this?
We do need to provide, we've provided bits and pieces here and there for, but it, needs to be employment-wide.
Okay.
So, like I said, it won't cost anything. We have somebody, an attorney, that can do that for us, and it's, sounds like a good deal. It's be an hour for employees and an extra 15 to 20 minutes for department
Oh,
heads
I
after.
thought you were talking like a day.
Is this different from?
No, it's only an hour.
Is this different from diversity and equity inclusion?
Yes, this is civil rights training.
It's not CRT?
CRT is civil, isn't that civil rights?
It's the diversity and inclusion is different than this, at least in my experience.
Yeah, so. Anyway, you might be thinking about, if we wanted to maybe just do an employee appreciation and do it during that, or, I mean, but regardless. we're
Christmas
gonna-
party?
Not at the Christmas party.
You just sing a song.
You could provide entertainment.
I'll write a show about it.
Okay, Ashley?
I just got a voicemail again.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So we'll just-
We'll take it Friday then.
All right.
We'll take it up Friday. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Is
I'll
there-
ask you about it again.
All right, let's make a decision so you can prepare.
I'm okay with it as long as it's not required by the county commission.
Is there opposition to staff going ahead and setting up a time for the 1 hour training?
No.
Okay, if there's not opposition, then you have directive to go ahead and proceed.
Okay.
That way you can go ahead and make plans.
Thank you, that's helpful. Okay. All right.
Now you can make plans. All right, we got over the calendar. Next meeting is Friday at 9 o'clock. If there's no other discussion, I move to adjourn. Second by Commissioner Garing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.